open the meeting.
I'll second it.
Oh, I'll second.
Been moved and seconded to open the meeting. All those in favor? That's a vote.
Oh, you guys.
Mr. Ripley, would you like to read our warrants?
Sure.
Take a deep breath.
I make a motion that we approve the following warrants. Warrant 111 in the amount of $18,063.03. Warrant 112 in the amount of $31,273.07. Warrant 113 in the amount of $35,242.70. Warrant 114 in the amount of $38,880.19. Warrant 115 in the amount of $16,069.37. Warrant 116 in the amount of $31,440.59. Warrant 117 in the amount of $55,131.69. Warrant 1 in the amount of $59,710.19. Warrant 2 in the amount of $54,574.73. Warrant 3 in the amount of $21,323.01. And warrant 4 in the amount of $24,844.37.
Second?
Been moved and seconded to approve warrants 111, 112, 113, 114, 115, 116, and 117 from last year, and warrant 1, 2, 3, and 4 from this year. All those in favor? Let's vote. And approve the regular council meeting minutes from June 15th, rescheduled from June 8th.
Can't do much with it. Oh well. It'll look good on.
I make a motion, we accept regular council meeting of June 15th, 2020.
I will second that with an edit under new business, item B. Approval of the spend at Councilor's Field. Approval of the Councilor's Field. Should be.
I didn't even catch that. I make that amendment too.
Been moved and seconded to approve the minutes of the regular council meeting as written, except for the Spendit Club Field to be Council's Field. All those in favor? It's a vote. And moving on. Fuel usage is in there. Anybody has any questions? And first up is the transfer station. Busy,
Busy.
unbelievably busy up there.
We've done well to make it all the years that we have out there without having 2 people hired to operate that place. DEP tells us we should have 2, OSHA tells us we should have 2. Obviously, we don't, we haven't, and it's a lot for one person to keep track of, so. By that, we end up doing a lot of cleanup that we shouldn't have to do because you can't teach everybody, or the ones that are unteachable, you can't catch them in time and do the threats of Bob, so it does make it difficult for one person. And that place has been, any of you guys that have been out there, you've seen the lineup. It's pretty much every day now that we're open. Other than that, it's going good.
Anything for Jamie and transfer station?
Are we gonna be hiring somebody or?
Nope, that's not on the, that's always been one of those places to save money, so.
Jamie, would it help if I get a couple kids that want to volunteer to do something? Would it be tougher to just keep an eye
Yeah,
on them?
sometimes it's harder to babysit than it is just, we ran into just like mowing the cemetery.
Yeah.
You know, pay a guy $20 an hour to babysit guys that are working, and you get nothing out of the guy that has the skills that can help you.
Yeah.
But thank you though. use a police cruiser out there, and a man. That would probably help more than the kids would.
Just park it empty like we do on the interstate. Public Works is up next. Anybody got any questions about Public Works? Anything going on we should know about?
We haven't had a lot of big jobs going on in June, just because June being the last month of the fiscal year, that's kind of where I try to keep myself in line with the budget, and, depending on how winter goes and stuff, that's my time to make up a little bit. So we've done a bunch. I don't know if any of you guys have seen the work that Timmy had requested by, Fourth Avenue for that, for the council's field, the edge of, out over by Fourth Avenue, but picking away at that, and I'm kind of doing it in steps, so as people criticize or give their opinion on how they want me to do it, I can adjust instead of ripping something back apart, so I kind of go back and forth with it.
It looks nice down there though.
Yeah.
Huge improvement down there.
Talked about the new loader.
Isn't that next? Afterwards.
No.
Do you wanna do it now, or?
Yeah, do it now.
Okay, I wanna buy a new loader. Is that it?
There you go. We got the money for it?
I've saved the money for it, we put 75,000 last year, I didn't touch, I put 75,000 this year, obviously I haven't touched. I had roughly $15,000 that we got for the, old dump truck that we sold to Callis a year or two ago that we put back into equipment reserves. The new loader is gonna cost no more than $159,900. That would be worst case scenario. They're trying to get me more discounts. For some reason, most government discounts are 15%, but he said for some reason Baileyville falls under a 30% discount, government discount from Case.
Wow.
So he said he's still looking into it. He said it'll be a minimum of that, and obviously that's huge. Our backhoes, when they were $120,000 for a backhoe, we were getting a $35,000 municipal discount. So that's what I'm looking for. The one we have now is a 2008. We bought it used when we bought it. Other people had already used it and broke it in, I guess you could say. And I've been throwing a lot of money at it lately.
So the 75 that you set aside last year and this year was for this loader?
That's what that money's for, my equipment outlay. I've got a plan in place. Obviously, we need a loader. Down the road, I need a sweeper. The sweeper is super expensive, so it's gonna take quite a few years to save up for that. At some point, I'm gonna need another 1-ton pickup that's 8 or 9 years old, you know, that plows and just beats around town. But we are getting there with the equipment. We've got a lot of nice equipment, and that's why I put this money aside every year. That's the whole purpose of it.
So are you looking to keep the old one for a backup? Or
No,
you
the
selling it?
old one will be, and that's part of it. Right now, the old one, I can get a trade-in allowance of $34,600, which was shockingly high to me. I was surprised.
Yep.
But my quote was from like 6 months ago, and they said they'd honor that bid, so I mean, it must be worth it to them. But
I'm all on board.
We need a motion on that? Or?
We don't need to make a motion on that, Chris, or do we? We don't need to make a motion on that. We should just be able to give you the okay, right?
Just buy it.
How easy is that?
That's what you've been setting the money aside for.
are you all right with that, Steve?
It's nice when you have money.
Good.
Well, it's nice when you save up the money.
Right.
That's, to me, that's huge. You know,
Better
that's
than
part-
wait until it dies. and
Yes,
then
I
we
don't
have-
like to hit anybody with, oh my God, we need this. I like to be able to say, hey, I've been saving up, you know, this was a plan, and
Well, and I remember a couple of years ago when we talked about just setting that money aside
Right,
for
right.
reserves, so.
So,
Maybe we should make a motion, just to make it all,
We can.
I make a motion that we authorize the town manager to purchase the loader that Jamie needs.
second.
Been moved and seconded to give Chris permission to look into buying a loader. All those in favor? That's legal.
Jamie, look at the loader.
Anything else for
Jamie,
Public
is
Works?
that, is the price you quoted with, the trade-in?
yes, yeah.
So you won't
Load-
really
Loaders
have-
are expensive, yeah, loaders are
Yeah,
expensive.
yeah.
It's,
But
yeah.
that's worst case without that 30% discount, or what was that? You said it's
Worst case scenario would be $159,900 with the trade-in.
Right.
That's the worst case scenario, and so it's definitely gonna be lower than 159.9 with a trade-in. That's kind of the highest, that's kind of, he's waiting to hear, cause unfortunately I wanted real numbers for tonight. But he's at the mercy of cases, municipal department getting back with the exact percentage rate. If those numbers are wrong or something comes back, then trust me, nobody will stop it and tune somebody in quicker than I will.
Right, but I mean, you could be down to less than 120, right?
I don't think
With
we.
the 30%.
No, that's,
Or that's including
all
30%.
it is.
right, that's
Okay.
the 30%.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I just saw a little person out there. Anything else for Public Works?
I think, yeah.
Okay, next up is Public Library. Sylvia's not here, but I spoke to her off and on, and she hasn't said anything about having any issues.
She's happy to be able to open the doors again.
She's very happy to be back. I will say, when I went by, I was in a hurry, I would've stopped, there was some garbage in the parking lot, so but I'll keep an eye on that and make sure we don't have anybody stopping in and they sit in the parking lot and use the internet and throw garbage, so I'll keep an eye on that. Next up is the Baileyville Police Department. How's things, Bob?
Busy, but I did get my 2 weeks off and got moved into the house, so appreciate that. That was a good thing, but Andrew he was swamped over those 2 weeks. Cruiser, I called Monday afternoon before our town meeting, and, cause I remembered when it was. And, called Ford or Downs in Bangor and said, hey, any update on my cruiser? And then called Tuesday because I didn't get back to Monday, and they said they wouldn't. Finally on Wednesday I got an email that said, hey, it fell through the cracks, we'll put it on the build list for next week, and you might get it mid-September. So I got my happy button up car, went down to Pratt's and said, can you find me a Tahoe? So they did their dealership look around, couldn't find a Tahoe that met our specs. I said, well, Cal's uses a truck, what have you got for a truck? Well, actually, we've got 3 coming in, 2 already been sold, but there's a gray one, which is a little darker than what you usually have now, and they gave me the price, it was $46,000 some odd dollars, which was much higher than the Crown Vic. But because it's gonna be used as an emergency vehicle, there was a $9,700 rebate on that. There's some other numbers that Ian came down on, and by the time we get down, it was $11,000 off the $46,000. We put in a walking tonneau cover and running boards, so to help people step up into the back seat. It's a crew cab, it's a short bed like my GMC, and I think it's gonna work out pretty well for us. And I hope the resale value when we're done stays up on a four-wheel drive truck. So, and Ian is going through the invoices, he said, I'm trying to find a truck that doesn't look so good. I kinda laughed, he said, no, I'm serious. I said, I don't want the taxpayers up there thinking you just went around and bought this nice new truck and weren't taking care of their money. But by the time we were done, it was less than the Ford Explorer, and it should be here any day. So I was quite pleased with that, and
Will that be the same cost to outfit it with all the equipment?
I believe it will. I called Whitman's that on Friday and said, hey, we've got to change what we ordered for the other car and get stuff in for this. Can you make the arrangements for a new cage? And that would be the only thing. Cage, and they'll have to take out it's a 40-20-40 seat, and they'll take out that console in the middle, so the police radios and sirens and things, and the gun locker will fit right there. So, and any gear we have will be in the back, and that can be locked up, and we'll go from there.
Did you cancel the Crown Vic, or the?
Yes, I gave them the same courtesy they gave me, and I emailed them and said cancel the car.
Anything else, any questions for Bob? Okay. Well, we'll look forward to seeing a new cruiser. Do you still call it a cruiser?
Yeah. But
Somehow it doesn't seem right.
Does it have the 2.7 turbo in it, 4 cylinders?
no, it's got some type of 12-cylinder something in there, monster motor. It's lifted, big tires, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Also saying 5.3
that 2.7 4-cylinder turbo moves, just to let you know.
And
That
we
would
talked
do
about
everything you needed it to.
there's a chip in there that
8-speed
shuts off the
automatic,
vehicle at
or
98
just
miles
go.
an hour, and it can be removed, and I told him not to remove it. We're doing a high-speed chase, and we're over 98 miles an hour, just for liability reasons.
Yeah, that
Leave the chip in.
4-cylinder doesn't have that chip, I don't think.
It's not a pursuit vehicle.
They put a governor on my new bus that I got delivered today too.
Which governor was it?
98 miles an hour?
Mills.
70 miles an hour.
Okay.
Surprise.
Well, I don't think it's gonna be a concern. Ah, don't talk politics. Parks and Recreation's up next. Mike,
Everything's going good.
how's business?
Good. Summer camp's going well. And thanks to the school, we now have new backboards inside the elementary gym. It looks nice.
Have you tried them yet?
Yes, they work well nice.
Yeah, that's gonna be an improvement.
I
And I will
did that
say,
today.
from the school side, we've had summer school over there since this all started, and there hasn't been one iota of a problem. They got the gym on the right side of the school, the kids are getting taught on the left side, which it's over now, but that's gone really smooth.
Yeah, it's worked well. We got kids going back and forth, so they get their education, come back, and find, so it's interchanging them very well.
Yep. Okay. Next up is wastewater. Any questions? I guess we'd have to get a hold of Chris so that she could talk to Annalise.
Well, we did have one thing, they had to bring some sludge to Callis. We paid almost $8,000 for that over the past few weeks. So that was,
Something's failing down there?
hmm?
Is there something failing down there?
No, it's just that things it ended up that Annalise felt that they needed to get rid of it, and so they brought it down to Callis. That's one advantage we do have, is that you're only trucking it down the road. I know Machias had to truck it to Brewer when they had to get rid of theirs, so
What do we usually do with that?
just dry it.
Is this gonna be something we can anticipate then?
Hmm?
Should we anticipate this happening again?
No, this is only, I think, the second time it's happened since I've been there.
And it looks like she gave us an update on what work has been going on through Oliver. So that's all the department heads. And next up, let's see, police vehicle purchase, so we've gone through that.
Mhm.
We've gone through the loader purchase. So we're on old business. Employee retirement health insurance update.
Yes, we received on July 8th a copy of an agreement between the town of Baileyville and the union. And I've forwarded that to Peabody. They're reviewing it to see if it makes sense for both, well, for them and us. The union will allow us to continue to pay for those employees that we're anticipating retirement. They wanna make sure though that this memorandum of understanding is in place before that in fact happens, so that we can continue to utilize the Allegiant Health Insurance. I have not gotten a response back from Eaton Peabody, except that the agreement looks fairly standard and doesn't look like anything too exciting. So as soon as we get that back, I'll send an update to you folks, so watch your emails, and we can get that cranking. At this point in time, we're looking at probably end of September, beginning of October.
October 1st.
All right, and with Karen, we're anticipating December 31st. That's what we're working on right now. The ad, well, that's later on, but that's where we stand. Also, we're working on an agreement that the town will sign with the employees on basically the nuts and bolts of that for the retirement agreement.
Yep.
All right.
So that'll all be run through the lawyers, so we're all on the same page.
They'll make sure that we're
Yep.
doing it right.
Okay.
We need to, really consider getting somebody in here to train, because we're talking almost less than 6 months now, so, we need that third person in here
Yeah.
to train.
In fact, I'm planning on making some phone calls tomorrow, and I'd like to have the person on board within 2 weeks.
You said you've had a couple people you've spoken with.
I've spoken to a couple. I had 3 people on my short list, and I'm gonna contact them. I know one is very excited about trying to get here, and we'll see if the other 2 are, either if there's still interest there. We interviewed, I think, 17 or 18 when we initially did this, so,
Really?
yeah,
Huh.
a lot of people.
Well, I agree, I think that we need to get in here soon, because 4 months goes by like that, and all these odd things that only crop up to you guys once in a while.
Yeah.
If they're not here very long, they won't experience it, I'm sure.
And now the training, I mean, you can't get any hands-on training anywhere now, so that's gonna be hard, that's gonna be rough to be sent to the training that we all need to go to.
Okay, so new business. Next up is the cafeteria project.
We have approval from town meeting, and you should have in your packet a proposed bid. I plan on only giving this to the institutions that are in the area, basically the banks in Calais. And if you look, I'm looking at having the council make a decision at the next meeting, 2 weeks from now, so that we can get this on track. Sad part is with COVID, the way it's happened, if we had bid out the school project now instead of a year ago, we'd probably get it for what the engineers estimated.
Is that gonna work, Craig, as far as 2,
Yeah.
3, 4 weeks before we have the money?
Yes, I say yes, because our concern was, right along, is that they were gonna be at a level the money's gone, the project's right here, and that's where they have to stop, because the money, they aren't there.
I've noticed they've kind of paced themselves to work, so they didn't work out of the money the last month or 2. So we planned it out.
It's
Is that
been a
what it is?
process.
It's taken a while. So if we can get a motion to go forward with that?
Move that the Baileyville Town Council approve the proposed bid proposal for a loan of up to $1.5 million to complete the Woodland Junior Senior High School cafeteria project.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded that we tell the Baileyville Town Council to approve the proposed bid proposal for a loan of up to $1,500,000 to complete the Woodland Junior Senior High School cafeteria project. All those in favor? And that's a vote. Next up, approval of the advertisement of the Recreation Director's position.
You also have in your packet a proposed ad for that. There will be one change. I forgot to put my email address on there, and I'm gonna put that on, so that we, in fact, can get that out on the street as soon as possible. If you look, we're looking at having it back by August 7th, and I'd like to actually have interviews start shortly thereafter, so that I'd love to have someone on board by September 1st.
You're looking at October 1st, Mike?
Yeah.
Your end date?
I move that the Baileyville Town Council authorize the town manager to advertise for the anticipated recreation director position.
Second.
Been moved and seconded that the Baileyville Town Council authorize the town manager to advertise for the recreation director position. All those in favor?
Anticipated.
Anticipated.
I have been writing down stuff that needs to get done, basically each month, each day, each season. Basically, a job description in a book form. I've started that, so make it easier.
The sewer project and update. Sewer project seems to be going fairly well, except for the multiple water breaks on South Princeton Road.
What do you do?
Multiple, well, at least 3 that I know of. So, yeah, Acacia's been lucky enough to have encountered all of those. But anyway.
They don't have a shut-off on
Anywhere.
those dead-end streets, a water shut-off.
Right.
So, once they put in the main sewer line, then they gotta go back and hook up all the services. Well, most of this town, the water and the sewer are in the same ditch, we always call it. Back in the day, when you shoveled it by hand, you made one ditch. So when they dug the sewer to replace the sewer to the property line, they've nicked, tugged, pulled, broke, little water lines to the house. The only way to shut it off is shut South Michigan off.
Mhm.
Would be nice to have a couple
Cut-offs.
shut-offs put in, but
Yeah.
water department really hasn't done much work this year. They haven't had the money that we have to do the work. So there's been almost no water work this year at all.
Mhm.
It's all been sewer
I
work.
had suggested if they could at least, you know, have somebody run out and stick a flyer at people's doors when it happens, so that, like, when I got home, I would've just flushed the lines that, where it comes into the house, before I started using my water.
I think it's human nature, everybody goes into panic and they just wanna fix that pipe, you know,
Yeah,
and,
yeah,
you
they
know,
could
all
have a
hands on
stack of
deck.
generic flyers ready to go, and just send somebody that's standing around, you know, not necessarily,
Cause yeah, they mentioned there's like 56 services out through there that would've been affected. I mean, honestly, they would've had the water fixed before they got half of those out, you know, running house to house. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm not saying it's great, it's a good idea or anything, but it just,
well, it's fixed with all the air and possibly debris already
Yeah.
in the lines. So whether they fixed it or not, it still has to, it's still coming down the line to all those
In
residents.
the long run, it'd be ideal to have shut-offs for each of those roads.
oh, absolutely.
And then also up onto the, Mountain View and,
Yeah.
yeah.
I am under the impression they are done digging in the ground for any pipes. All the pipe that's going in is laid for this whole project. Everything now is cleanup.
Really?
Cleanup is a vague
Mm.
description. You know, they've got a lot of hot top they cut and prep and do hot top work and, curbing to do and, all kinds of other things, maybe even including grass, but there's a lot of things they gotta do. Did you get the email I
Yes.
sent you?
Yes.
Yes. Jamie jumped on top of that as soon as I let him know, and T-Buck sent out that email that I think you've all seen regarding the topsoil situation. So hopefully,
I didn't send you an email, so don't look for it. I didn't send you an email, so don't look for it. I didn't send you an email. I got the two that was,
oh, okay.
that verbally, I made copies of it and drove around hoping to run into some people around town that I could pass it to. But instead of me trying to explain what I spent 2.5 hours listening to from the grass guy, and then explain it to somebody and have them say, but why, how come, why? I said, just explain it out, I can pass it off, and then they can go through somebody other than me to see if they can get an answer back if they had a question on top of it.
No, it made sense.
I like clover.
Well, it's actually not clover, it's,
Only for feeding cows.
pigweed, yeah. And you can actually eat it. If you'd like to go pick it, you can eat it.
Yeah, pick me some.
The email said for those that like,
The long and short, so I
Maybe
won't get
something
into it too much, but the long and short of it is, they think what happened was they stripped it off this spring, and they used it, and they didn't, usually they like to strip it off and let it sit over winter, and that's supposed to burn off the seeds and stuff, and the place that they got it from stripped it this spring. So everything was kind of still, yeah, pretty fresh, and that caused the issue. They're thinking that going forward, that the stuff they're getting now should be burnt off. We'll
so
see.
did they hydro seed the top of that stuff? Will that pigweed choke out what they put down for grass?
They said that when you mow that like 2 or 3 times, it kills that weed off. They can't guarantee that it won't come up again the following year, but
That's why they're gonna keep
unfortunately, they're trying to grow grass in a drought season. And what's the one thing that grows in the drought?